What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today, man, we got a special guest in the building. You can't find shit on him whatsoever. I was over here struggling with my life. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna listen to all the albums.
Crazy.
So that's what I did.
Crazy.
I was being a little egotistical because I really could have asked Teresa, like, hey, give me some information on this guy. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a real journalist today, right?
You're all good.
So a very hard hitting artist. You know, you got kicked out of school growing up.
No, I left.
I heard you got kicked out.
I left high school, and then I got kicked out of college.
You left high school, or you
I
you
left
were
high
about?
school.
Or did you do one of those things where like you're about to get fired, so you quit anyways?
No, they were like, you really not learning shit. So let's just call this.
So you were about to get fired, but you quit before.
I was like, I don't need to be here. They were like teaching me algebra and shit, and I was like, I'm good on all this.
Very brokenhearted dude, huh?
I don't know what I am. I'm just here. My name is Woes. I'm a very nice person. I rap.
I hate asking people why they got their name, but like, what is that? Woes, like, why?
I grew up real religious, and when I was like a kid, I'd be running around, and it was like, this is a sin. That's a sin. You know what I mean? So I was always like tripping on what I was doing. Like, that's sin. I'm sinning. Oh my God. You're jerking off. You're like, fuck, I just nutted. That's a sin. And then you go to communion. I swear to God, you think I'm being funny. So like I feared sin. You know what I mean? Like my whole life as like a kid. And then I would go to church and then communion. I grew up like real Armenian. Both my parents are Armenian. So we went to this Armenian church, which was like a 3-hour long service. And then at the end of the 3 hours, it was communion where you repent for your sins and it's woe to me, woe to me, woe to me. And that shit just like stuck in my head. And every time that happened, I felt like a clean slate. I was like, ooh, I can sin again. I was just a little kid. But that shit like stuck with me.
So how do you go from growing up so religious to then almost mocking this religion in your music video, right? Because now you dress up as a nun walking through the fucking church.
I know my auntie didn't like that video very much either. She was like, so you dressed up as a nun? I was like, yeah, but I was kidding, right? Like, I don't know. It's in my head, it's like nothing's that serious.
Is this the same aunt that doesn't like you?
No, I got a lot of aunts that don't like me. This is an auntie that loves me.
Why do they hate you so much? What did you do?
Just doing me.
No. You did something, right?
I had a lot of family that didn't like how I was living in terms of getting kicked out of school, pursuing music.
Mm-hmm.
Like they thought I like lacked direction. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was very like, my grandmother taught me what like unconditional love was. And I haven't felt that from a lot of my family. So it's like, fuck you to a lot of them.
What did that unconditional love look like coming from your grandma?
Everything. Every time I was fucking down or anytime I was broke or like kicked out of college, like I moved in with her. Like putting food in my mouth. Like changing my diaper as a kid. Like she took the same care of me since I was like a child, a baby, as the day that she passed away, for real. Like that's, well, you know when someone says I love you and they don't mean that shit. You know what I mean? And you could feel it. Like, you know, you feel the word, you feel someone say the word love and you're like, that shit doesn't hold any weight. And then you hear your mother say it and then you're like, word. Or my grandmother or my auntie.
And we're going to get into that a little bit more later, right? Because there's this song that you create and by the end you're talking about her. But we got to take it back to the beginning, right? Because again, I did my research. I'm like, I don't know shit about this guy. I can't find shit about this guy. Like, oh, what the hell is going on, right? Because you've been doing music for a while. I did not get the exact date. But in 2019, you released an album called Curb Appeal. So 2019 being 5 years ago, right? To your next album, Pressing My Luck. What created that gap? What was going on in between that time?
I was still finding my sound. Like, I was still finding what I wanted to sound like. And Curb Appeal was when, like, I'd just gotten out of this relationship. I, like, moved into a brand new crib. Like, I met a bunch of people that are now, like, very important in my life, like, staples to it. And that was just, like, part of the process of me finding my voice. You know, you work on your tone. people say they rap for 10 years. And then it's like, did you rap for 10 years or for 5 years? Were you just figuring out like your tone, like your vocal tone, like your physical voice? Like you can find like your literal voice and then you can find your physical voice. And so Curb Appeal was really just me like starting to find like the direction that I wanted to take.
So how have you seen yourself grow within these past 5 years?
Just being honest. Like people make a lot of music, I think, trying to make something that they think that people want to hear. And then I've done it, but it's also like if you're really just being you and you're really just like, it sounds so fucking cliche, but like I think what makes you unique is you being a direct vessel from your heart and what you want to say to people to the mic, to the music that will result in you, like the music being a direct reflection of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Instead of trying to. Rap is like a really insecure thing, I think.
No.
I think like rap is like a very competitive and rap is like a very like tough motherfucker and you know what I mean? How big your chain is, how much pussy you get, how much money you got. Like that's what I think of it at least.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it was from the outside looking in as a kid. And then you get older and then you're like, if you know, you can ride that or you could be like, I'm rapping about my insecurities. You know what I mean? I'm rapping about my family. I'm rapping about my love life. I'm rapping about, you know, like just real, like people don't want to see the unedited version of you. No. People don't want to see the edited version of you. People want to see the raw, people don't want to see an edited photo. You know what I mean? It's the same shit as like, let me see the actual color of you. And you know what I mean? Your true colors. And people, I don't know. I don't want to see that shit. You know when someone's editing their shit and you're like, bitch, you don't look like that.
I think a lot of the times what happens is people are so afraid to be authentically themselves, right? And when it comes to, I don't even want to say this culture, but when it comes to society, that's what we've been taught, especially with this new age of social media, right? We have to be this perfect person, essentially, right? And that's what social media teaches you about everything, about relationships, about yourself, about, you know, what you're doing with your life. Like everything has to be perfect. And I think earlier in the year, I was just going through my own situation where I felt less than perfect. So feeling less than perfect, then you look inward and you're like, you look at all these things that you think you could be doing better. But on the outside, everybody's like, but what's wrong for real? Like, you're the only one that really knows what's wrong.
You're going to always be your biggest critic. And that can be developed in however the fuck you thought about that since you were a kid.
Except for yourself, apparently, because your aunts are pretty huge critics of you, right?
I'm not going to hold back really for anybody.
What do you feel like it was that drove that wedge between you and your family?
Just not tolerating bullshit. Someone in the family does some fuck shit. And then being like, that's wrong for X, Y, and Z. Fuck that. And like stopping that shit.
Where did that moral compass come from?
How I was raised. Like my father was like, this is what's right and this is what's wrong. And it's in concrete now. To a point to where I remember being in church one day and this dude walked up to like me and my father and was like, oh, nice to see you, so-and-so, nice to see you. And I had just found out dude beats his wife. And so I'm in church like as a kid and he's like, shakes my family's hand and then like puts his hand out to shake mine. And I'm just like, I'm looking at him. And my family looked at me and was like, oh, fuck. Like, and I didn't even say shit, right? Like you're in church, like you don't want to, you know, while out in fucking church. You could.
But they knew you knew.
Yeah, the whole church knew. So
how did they find out?
Bro, she'd come to church with fucking like black eyes. Like just some domestic shit, right?
How old were you?
Probably 11.
These are like the irrelevant questions, but I'm saying for you to understand that
that's the first time like you understand like, oh, word, like this dude does wrong. fuck this dude.
Mm-hmm.
And being like, I don't give a fuck where we are. Like, that's wrong, and I know that's wrong. So I'm not gonna fucking, hey, nice to see you. Nah, bitch. Fuck you.
Not to stray too far away from that, but right, because you mentioned that wrong is wrong. And when it comes to your aunts, there's this wedge that's in between you guys, right? But you've continued to carry this throughout your music.
Yeah.
On the first track of Curb Appeal, you mentioned how they don't like you. Grandkids, you talk about they don't like you, right?
Yeah. I hold grudges.
And it's like, for people that you say that you don't care too much about, right? You continue to carry it. Why?
It's shaped me
Mm.
by people saying like, oh, I love you, this and that, I love you, I'm here for you. And then it's like, well, if you love me, like, you wouldn't be, true love and unconditional love and this and that. Like, you see the difference. So it's shaped my resentment towards people, towards family, towards homies, towards like everybody. To where it's like, if you're not 100% like, not a yes man, not on some yes man shit, but just on some like what unconditional love is and what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Even with like everything creative, like, we're all homies first. Producers, engineers, directors, cinematographers, photographers. You know what I mean? Everybody on the team, like we're homies, and we hold each other to like a standard of like professionalism, but also like it's all people that we say like love you. Like, I tell everybody in my circle I love you before I hang up the phone. Not on some like performative shit. It's shaped me for sure as a kid because it makes you like switch up. Like, I thought you meant that shit.
It makes you question everything, right? It makes you question that whatever, was it ever real? And now you have to carry that going forward, right? In new relationships that you build. You have this false idea of what love is supposed to be, almost. And when you have that foundation, it's hard to build up from that.
Love and support, I'll say. Like, when someone supports the fuck out of you, and then when someone is like, I support you, but, or I love what you're doing, but, you know what I mean?
Do you think that only came with the music, or that was more so growing up?
Yeah, because there's no right and wrong with this shit. So anybody following and chasing some shit where there's no like, this is the destination to success and this is what success looks like. It just looks like you're fucking around.
You mentioned having tattoos on your head, and I'm not liking that. How did you find yourself adopting that type of identity?
Dude, I just started getting tattoos that I thought were dope. Tattoos made me more comfortable in the body that I have. Like, I felt as a kid, I hated my fucking body. Like, as like a kid, like, you're like, I was like 6 and 7, like looking in the mirror, like, what the fuck is this? Like, I felt so uncomfortable and felt so like, and then the tattoos just started making me feel more me
Mm.
and just more of, I don't even know. Felt like my body became a home. And then you start walking down the street and then you're like, damn, these bitches are crossing the street. Or asking a girl what time it is and she like hold her purse tighter. She's like, it's 5 o'clock. And I'm never gonna play the victim for that shit because there's black homies that'll walk down the street, no tattoos. Like, I've done this. Like, I did it. I got to embrace it. But also, eat a dick.
Did you think about that going?
Hell no. Hell no. I was like, man.
See, if you finished high school, you would have knew.
Man, high school didn't make me think.
So then going back to the song Grandkids, right? You say, I got an auntie up the street and she won't even talk to me because she don't fuck with the dude that got tattoos on his head. And when the song closes, you say, I got nothing to prove. Up next is the album, call it Nothing to Lose.
Yeah.
What was the significance behind the title of the album that never came to fruition?
Damn. There's a whole project. And it just never.
It's not out there.
No.
Why?
It's on like 3 different computers. Like, this is over here, that's over there. Because I didn't like where I was at yet. I didn't like where I was at yet. And there's a happy medium between making music that you need to make, I think, for you for on some like therapy shit, just to get out of you. And then there's like also the line of bridging that and music that you will release. You know what I mean? And how you want to say something and in a way that's gonna be productive, in a way that's not just me like airing out my fucking feelings.
I feel like that's what you do.
That is what I do, but then it's airing out your feelings in a way that you feel sonically represents you.
You put a whole voicemail out.
Which one?
Fly on the wall.
It might be a fake one. Yeah.
It's a fake one?
Because I had a real one. And I was like, I can't post that motherfucker.
But why nothing to lose?
Like the nothing to lose mindset is what brought me to pressing my luck. Of living without fearing like consequences or putting yourself in harm's way or like fuck it. Like that fuck it mentality, that nothing to lose. Like I don't have shit to lose, right? Or, you know, you forget that you're working hard for shit, but also that nothing to lose mentality is what I had as an adult in Chicago. And that shit makes you learn a lot faster. You take the shortcuts on that shit. And then you're like, this dude's got nothing to lose. I was fucking around the whole time. This dude's really got nothing to lose.
So then why change it?
You grow. Like you grow. It took me a long time to like change my attitude. Like we were talking before this shit was rolling. Like I had a horrible attitude in high school. And then you realize like you're holding yourself back. You're getting in your way the most. Whether it's your attitude or whether it's the way that you look at shit. I guess that's the same shit. But yeah. It's not conducive to living a long, fruitful life.
And you know what? The theme of love seems to continue to follow you, right? From Curb Appeal to Pressing My Luck, but not even the theme of love, but more so this idea of heartbreak. It's something that you talk about a lot, right? And in 10 Deep, you say, I'm still in love with you and I just need to face the facts. You used to be my favorite. Now I'm waking up in strangers' beds.
I put a little more twist so it sounded like it rhymed better on the song, but when you said it didn't sound, nah, I'm fucking with you. Yeah, dude, I went through a little hoe phase and shit.
What was it that had you holding on to this relationship for so long?
Do you know this girl? Just fucking being young, bro. Like, you know, a lot of that shit was like my first heartbreak. Like, you cling to the shit that shapes you. Whether it's the feeling of betrayed or just wrong love altogether. It took me until like the most recent years, I'm 29 now, to just realize like, oh, two people can just not be meant for each other. You're like beating your head against the fucking wall, being like, I know this can work. Like, I know, like, no, like I don't know. I fixate on shit.
I think that's the easy part, right?
I don't know what the fuck the easy part is, man, but let me.
The hard part is trying to break that idea of, like you said, two people just cannot be meant for each other.
Yeah, and understanding like where that bridge comes.
How did you come to that understanding?
Just living life. Yeah, like you just keep living. Anytime somebody's like, I'm about to break up with this girl, but I'm like nervous. I'm like, bro, I'll do it. Give me your phone. I'll fucking just start living.
But that's because it's not you. If you're in that position.
Yeah, for sure. I try to be an advocate of that shit because I've wasted a lot of time. And not wasted, right? Like you can get into that, but like I've spent a lot of time on things, not even love, just on, like fucking jobs or like fucking trying to do something that you think is right. And then realizing like you can spend all night like trying to write a punchline. Like I've literally spent like all night like writing one line in one verse, right? Like fucking 6 hours being like, I'm gonna get this line. Coming up with like 3 alternative lines and being like, that's not the one. Or you could go back and like change the setup to that line. You know what I mean? You can literally pivot, boom, and then write the rest of the verse. Or write a second verse. Or fin it like you could just set yourself up.
In what ways did you see you holding on to these old relationships impact your ability to form new ones moving forward?
I think it's not good for anybody. I'm beating a dead horse with my life, and She's tired of hearing me rap about being heartbroken.
But you still do it.
Hell yeah, because I'm still fucking heartbroken. Like, not about her, the last one, or this one, or that one, or the next one. Like, that's just a feeling, you know? And not shying away from that and being like, fuck it. If it's on the forefront of my head, I'm rapping about it, you know? Instead of, again, going back to what we were saying about trying to write music that you think people want to hear.
So why not put in that time to heal?
Fuck, man, I don't know. I think I am. If I haven't killed myself, like, I'm still alive. So I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, you're putting time in to heal by still being alive in my head. Like, by just being here. Like, allowing yourself to continue seeing shit and continue experiencing shit and continue moving, you know? You will heal if you're trying to.
You said just being here is giving yourself an opportunity to heal, but then you said that if you're trying to heal.
Yeah, because you can have a horrible attitude, right? And you can have a horrible attitude. Like, a song will, like, you can write a song, at least I can, and write a song and capture a feeling and be in a different mental place. You know what I mean? Like the song Tunnel Vision on the project, I wrote fucking 3 or 4 years ago. And that was when I was really down.
We're going to talk about it. Yeah. That's some sad boy shit for real.
Yeah, dude, that's one of my favorite songs I've ever written about, for real.
That's a surprise because most people who write something like that will say, I never want to talk about it or perform it ever again.
I want to perform it. We just got back from New York and I'm like, told my drummer, like, I want to learn this one. Like, I want to do this one live. Cause it's real. It's like raw and it's a feeling I had, you know, the last 15 fucking years.
And break down the song real quick for those people that don't know, right? Tunnel vision is this ideation of not being here no more.
It was produced by a homie in San Francisco, Kid Rated R. And he sent me a pack of like 6 beats. And this was the only one I fucking recorded on. And as soon as I sat down, like, I recorded the whole thing. And the songs that you're supposed to write come real easy, in my opinion. Like, you can stare at a pad all night, but if it's supposed to be coming out of you, then, and you're open to receiving that, you know what I mean? Like, your mouth is the middle point between your brain and your heart, right? So everything has to align, and then you'll be honest with yourself, or you'll be honest, or if you're speaking with intent.
What was the time in your life that you were talking about?
I've been suicidal for so long, I don't even know if I'm still suicidal. You know what I mean?
No. Break it down.
Keep all this shit in. Like, you feel a feeling for so long, it loses weight. Like, it loses the power behind the initial feel. You know what I mean? I remember being fucking 9 or 10 and being like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, killing yourself is right there. You know what I mean? And being like eye to eye with that. And that just followed me. Like, I don't know. That's something that I struggled with for a long fucking time. Seeing life will either push you deeper into that or push you away from that. And where I was a lot of the time in life, it pushed me deeper into it.
What were those moments that continue to push you deeper into it?
Having no desire to live. Like, I can have a great night and then go home and wake up the next morning and be like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know? And the second verse, I remember writing from like the perspective of people being at my funeral. Is it the first verse or the second verse? I got a fucking terrible memory, dude.
I see that.
Damn, for real? What the fuck? No.
I mean, in the song, you open it by saying, I've been thinking about my death. It's so enticing. Like, all your homies get together and talk about nice things.
So it was the first verse.
So when looking back, why did it feel so hopeless? Why did everything feel so hopeless, right?
I think it was a feeling I got familiar with. So it shaped a lot of what I existed through. Like the feeling of hopelessness and the feeling of like being lost or fucking not wanting to be alive. I had those feelings for a long time as a kid. And then this dude I know killed himself. And then that was just like open the floodgate for like everything. Feeling everything at once and being like, fuck all this shit. Like if he can do it, I can do it. And if he's gone, like feeling that as a kid and really getting a taste of what death was. And I wasn't even mad close to him. Like it was that opened the floodgates of, oh, word, life is optional. And that was something that I just never forgot. Of like, word, this can stop anytime I want it to. This isn't a cry for help, goddammit. I'm good. Okay? I'm good. We're all cool.
He's used to the feeling now.
Yeah, bro. Like yeah. It's there, whether I'm laughing about it or not. And I hope it doesn't come off as insensitive. But also it's like just it's just it's there.
And that's been your reality for so long, right? That there's this idea that it could happen. What is it that continues to save you from that?
Just knowing I'm not done. Like knowing that I have more shit to do. And knowing that there's people that care about me and knowing that, you know what I mean? Even though I think my funeral will be fire. Like on some real shit. When I was smoking, I used to smoke cigarettes. I still smoke cigarettes. But I made this joke to my homie. I was like, you can only come to my funeral if you smoke a Newport 100 and like 6 drags or some shit.
6 drags?
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll lower it.
That's a lot. That's like...
My mother's going to be like, why the fuck are you talking about this shit?
And you follow on in the song by saying, you can't tell me to stay if I want to leave. You can't tell me to pray if I said fuck the priest. I'm staring out the window. I see the pain through the screen. I ain't trying to fucking save shit. I want to delete. Because it's like an everyday mental battle that you're going through, man.
I mean, yeah, but people got worse. You know?
What's worse than not wanting to be here every day?
The people that do it. Like the people that really not wanted to be here. You know? I don't know. Everyone's got a different line drawn. I know people see this and be like, if he wanted to kill himself, he would. And like, they're not wrong.
How much of your childhood do you feel like contributed to the mental battles that you face?
I don't think any, honestly. Like, this is just something I got in me. Like, this is just what's in my head. Like, I was raised by 2 parents that are still together and that love each other. And I believe that and I've seen it, you know. My mother loves me. My father, like, I got no fucked up ass stories for you. Like,
you just be going through it.
I don't know. I'm just here.
What methods have you found effective in dealing with everything?
Just putting a lot of energy into music and homies literally showing up for me. Like literally. Like you stop answering the phone and a homie just like knocks on your door and just like holds you. Like that check-in shit is real. And people really be like, check on your homie. And it's like, yeah, if you say that shit corny, I ain't doing it. But people know who needs help. You know what I mean? And people know who are actually, you know, this isn't on some like, like I'm not writing a suicide prevention song. I'm just letting you know what I'm feeling.
I think the thing about that song that stuck out to me so much was the fact that it's like, it is one of those vulnerable things that a lot of people don't talk about, right? And I'm not saying that you make this ideation sound like, well, for you make it almost sound like, yeah, my funeral is going to be lit.
Because it's like looking at it with a light. Every fucking dark ass time still has some sort of light, no matter how fucked up and how twisted it is. And maybe that's just like, I got tired of eating shit. And I was like, man, there's some celery in this bite of shit. Like, celery's not even sweet. Damn, that would have been a good one.
Why do you sound so angry in your music all the time?
I'm just an angry guy. I just smile a lot. I don't know. It's probably a coping mechanism.
I'm trying to figure out what you're coping with.
I've had a lot of anger. I've been a very angry person. And it's really just like the ugliest times. Like when the temper comes out, you still don't strike me as a very angry individual.
I don't care about a lot of things, bro. Yeah, I'm really good with the flow.
You never been angry or what?
I just don't be caring about a lot of shit, man. And to me, it's like the world's gonna move. You do your part. You do what you can. At the end of the day, it's like you can't save everything. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Otherwise, you just set yourself up to be angry at the world. And for what?
I think a lot of the anger was seeing the state of things in the world and feeling that frustration of like, oh, word, you can't change that.
Like,
How people treat each other on the street or on some like personal shit or on some like just seeing like the state of the world. I mean, Trump just got elected again. We didn't say that at all before we started this, but like, there's a lot of anger that I got for that whole situation. I don't know if you want to talk about it or you don't, but
you could talk about it, bro.
I'm not a political person. But you know when something's right and something's wrong, and there's a lot of anger that I have in that. But me carrying that anger is not beneficial to me. I've been real angry for a long time. and you hit a point to where you realize you're the only one hurting. Like you're carrying all of that anger and frustration, envy, greed, or whatever the fuck it is. Probably all of them for real. And then you're like, this is not helping me live a happy life. Like you're just carrying shit.
Why did you feel it necessary for you to take this on, right? Why be so angry about it for everybody else?
I think that was the biggest thing I had to learn in life. Like picking your battles and not taking shit on. You know what I mean? Like and acknowledging something is happening and being like, me getting involved is not going to help, or me getting involved is not going to make the world a better place. Or I remember when the first times, like I had just moved downtown to Chicago as an adult. Like I started college, right? And I remember seeing this dumbass tourist bitch walk up to a dude homeless on the street, passed out, just like laid out on the sidewalk, pulls out her phone. It literally sounds like a fucking movie scene because it's like, who would do this? Pulls out her phone and just starts laughing at dude and is like taking pictures of this dude. And I'm looking at this fucking lady and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like 17, you know what I mean? And I'm like, you're a fucking grown woman. Like, what? What the fuck are you doing? And she's like, fuck this guy.
You asked her that and that's what she told you?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Because I was like, you're filming this dude who's literally like just no crib. He might not even have shoes on, like down on his luck. Filming him, taking a picture or filming him. I was like, bitch, what are you doing? She was like, man, fuck this guy. I was like, fuck this guy, fuck you, bitch. And then she started filming me. And I was like, whoa, bitch. How many followers you got? Tell them the whole story.
I'm gonna ruin my rap career this early.
Nah, I mean, like that shit. And I bought, like, I remember that. Fucking literally 12 years later, like, I just remembered it just now. And I remember seeing, like, firsthand, like, oh, this is how this dude just got treated and I saw it. And that's just a frustrating thing. And that's not even on some, like, I'm a superhero. Like, no, dude, fuck me and fuck everything that goes on. Like, it has nothing to do with me. I just, like, hold on to this shit. And I feel it. Like, shit doesn't move in and out of my head as fast as it might for the next dude. Maybe everybody's thinking like this, but everybody would be angry as fuck, I guess. I don't know.
No, you be angry, bro. You be angry. You be
It's like
sad,
you see me angry. That's
No, I hear it.
Did you cut me off on the way here?
I hear it in the music, right? You be sounding angry as hell throughout the whole thing, right? And a lot of that, I think, does stem from those relationships, right? Because it's something that, again, you continuously bring up. From Fly on the Wall to even the new shit, right? What the fuck is the song called? Naked Truth. In Naked Truth, you open with, you said to stop flexing on records and tell the truth. I ain't happy that you gone, but I'm glad we through. But as you go on, you say, I remember every fucking word you said while lashing out. I remember when you said, I wish you never asked me out. On my birthday, you said you fucked a better rapper.
Wow.
This is true.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool. I'm cool with that, Eggs.
What?
Hey, we're cool. Yeah, we're cool.
In what ways did these arguments impact the way that you viewed yourself?
I know it didn't now. You know what I mean? Like, this was just two people that just weren't supposed to be. But you hear someone say that shit and it eats you up. But, like, at the end of the day, this is just two people that are just not meant to be. And letting that go. Like, now I'm cool with this ex. Claire. She's cool. She was at the show. Like, she's cool. She's like, you could be cool with whoever the fuck. I just like not being cool with a lot of people. I like it when people know I don't like them.
Why?
That's so fire. I love that shit. Like, I want you to know that I don't rock with you.
You just
And
like
why.
burning bridges out here?
Bro, I'll be fucking
You be tearing that
backpack
shit
full
down.
of dynamite. Catch this bitch. Poof. No bridge. There's no fucking neighborhood. Fuck the fake shit. Fuck the fake. Why would I shake your hand? I see you at a show. What up, bro? Good to see you. Eat a dick, man. Why shake somebody's hand if you don't want to look at them?
And make sure Teresa handles all the talking.
Bro. Here, girl. I mean, I don't know. Fuck it. Fuck the fake shit.
But again, right? You know what? What did it make you think of yourself at the time going through that situation?
Which one? What situation?
The one where you're being told that you ain't shit
Oh, yeah.
and she fucked a better rapper.
I was thinking about that before she said that. You know what I mean? I'll hear a dude rap and I'll think, like, I'm insecure with it. I'll hear people rapping and I'll be like, damn, he got it. And it's impossible for me to not hear that shit and be like, it's me or him. You know what I'm saying? And reminding myself, like, this is a big ass world. Everybody's rapping from a different place. Everybody's like, you are the only person that can have a show like this because you are the nucleus that holds the whole fucking thing together. So you're not looking at Joe Rogan or fucking any other podcast being like, man, fuck Joe Rogan. Like, no, dude, like, you're doing you. And it's just reminding yourself that you're the only person that can do shit like you can. And letting that outweigh all the insecurities.
How did you find yourself back in the position of being open to talk to this person at that point, right?
She's going through some shit.
Clearly, you say it in the song, if he hurts you, I'm gonna make sure he hurts more.
It's just some real life shit. She went through some shit. And I was like, fuck all this bullshit. Are you good? You know what I mean? And that's her business. I'm not on that. But when real life happens, fuck your feelings. Like it'll. Real life is different than you sitting at home being like, no, it's real life.
You go through this situation where it almost broke you apart, right? It tore you down in the sense that.
But it feels like that with every relationship. You know what I mean? Every fight, every bump. You know what I mean? You go through it again.
You need some healthier relationships, dog.
Bro, I like that toxic shit.
I see that. Obviously, right? You've been going on for 5 years talking about some heartbroken ass shit.
And it's all different people. That's not one, dude. That's like fucking 5 of them. You live and you learn, goddammit.
I mean, even with Fly on the Wall, right? You're saying that I just want you to tell me that you're okay, and I'll just be a fly on the wall.
When I love somebody, I love the fuck out of them.
I see that.
I don't do half-assed.
Apparently, you can't let them go either.
Damn, you do know these girls. Yeah. Like, I believe when you are with somebody, there will always be a part of you that loves them. Like, even if it's the worst shit.
I think what stuck out to me about this song is that idea of, even though it didn't work out, even though everything turned out as bad as it did, you're still over there open to just knowing that they're okay, right? Because, like I said, with Fly on the Wall, you say that I'll pull the exact fucking lyric because I got it. Just tell me that you fine. I don't have to be involved. I'd be perfectly content as a fucking fly on the wall. Right. And even with that, you say I'm talking to some blogs now and they down now, but you remember when nobody gave a fuck, I drowned. It's funny how it changes. I got a couple songs on rotation. Without you, radio plays don't mean shit. With this song, I saw myself in it because when you achieve everything that you chased for so long and you finally get it, and that person that was on the road with you for that, right, isn't there anymore, it's like, damn, where did this time go? Where did this person go? And you create this new life that you're succeeding in all these different things, and you're like, damn, I should be happy, but it feels just a tiny bit empty because that person's not there to celebrate.
That's the most. That's the craziest shit about breaking up with somebody. Is that you'll spend every fucking. You can spend every day waking up next to this person, and then all of a sudden they're gone. And usually you're not talking, right? Excuse me. So usually you're not talking. And that's like the most upsetting feeling. It's like this person that used to be your whole world. You have no idea what they're doing. You have no idea where they're at. You have no idea what's going on with them. And there'll always be a part of me that cares about every ex, about every, you know, even a family, bro. Like you could say you don't care all day. Like I'm angry because I cared and that hurt my fucking feelings.
People in general, right? There's people in your life that aren't there anymore. That sometimes you'll just find yourself thinking about, like, damn, we used to be this close, right? And the reason, man, again, with this, with a lot of the music about the heartbreak and the loss in relationships, I found myself in it because recently I'm over here. The actual title of this conversation was supposed to be, what the fuck was it supposed to be? It was supposed to be Never Healed, right? That's because
Damn.
5 years later, you're still talking about these relationships.
They all different though.
They're all different, but did you really give yourself that time to figure it out, right? And for me, I realized that recently I haven't given myself the time to figure it out. Not the way that I should have, right? And I think some of that comes from the idea of seeing these other relationships that didn't play out the way that you hoped they would and seeing them move on with something new in their life. And you're like, either I got to keep up or I'm just like, I'm losing essentially.
And the time to process shit too. I still am thinking about shit that's happened fucking 12 years ago, obviously. So it's like processing through that. And the music helps. Being around homies that also help you understand what is worth dwelling on and what's not. You know what I mean? Being like, this does not fucking mean anything. Like, you are the only person stuck here. You are the only person standing in your way. You are the only person thinking about this shit. Everyone thinks that what they're going through is like the biggest shit. When in reality, like, there's 4 people right here in this room right now. Like, everybody had a different fucking day. How many phone calls did everybody make today? Like, you have no like,
He made the most.
I know. I saw a call log. Not shit anybody is doing is more important than the next person. Like, everybody thinks that is like, we all just here. I just got a microphone and I just talk shit in my bedroom and the fucking a homie fucking makes it sound good and then I put the music out. Doesn't mean my voice is louder. Like, I bought a mic, bitch. Your voice could be this loud too, god damn it. Buy a mic or just keep screaming. You'll lose your voice first though.
What do you think it will take for you to be healed?
I'm probably standing in my way. Like, I'm definitely probably standing in my own way. Acknowledging what is and what was and what it could have been, and like, you factor everything in, but in reality, it's like, face the fucking music. Like, this is somebody in your life that was there for a time, for a season, for a chapter, and then it ends, and then you had expectations of it, and then you can carry that, or you can just face the fucking music and realize, like, wasn't meant to be. I don't know if that's fate or what, but I don't know if I believe in karma, but fate, I think you control your fate. I don't think there's like destiny.
You don't think things are written for you?
No, you write it. Like you write it you wrote it fucking tying your shoes before you left to come here. You could have not tied your shoes tight enough and then you could have tripped walking across the street, got hit by a car. Like you write every fucking thing in your life. People, I think people don't understand how much they are in control of. You know what I mean? And people like to throw their hands up and be like, I tried. Like, you didn't try fucking hard enough. You tried. You are the only person standing in your way. Regardless of who's like, regardless of who's elected president, regardless of your family, regardless of your teachers, regardless of your ex-girlfriends, like, you can never let anybody make you feel less powerful than you actually are. Ever. Clip that shit, bitch. Like, really, though. Like, I called my cousin this morning, and she's on the same... Bro, this girl, she's a tougher lesbian version of me. I swear to God.
Tougher
Angry,
lesbian
bro.
version of you?
Bro, we got anger in our... Like, we just got anger. It's just in our blood.
Who hurt you guys?
Bro, we love real hard. We love life real hard, and we believe in what's right real hard, and we...
Is this an Armenian thing?
I don't know. We did get genocided. That's a whole joke that me and my cousin got. The Turks really got the fuck out of us. You know about that?
No.
Man.
I don't feel like having a history lesson.
There's a genocide. There's no history.
We can have the history lesson afterwards.
I mean, that's some other shit. It's honestly, it started as a joke, but like, it's like a real, like, they say that shit goes through the bloodline on the heritage of the family.
Do you think that's why you feel so powerful about certain political stances you have?
I don't know why the fuck it is, bro. I just feel it deep down in my feeling. Like, I feel this way every time I look at a CPD. You know what I mean? I feel this way every time I turn the news on.
What did the cops do to you?
It's what they did to my homies. It's what they did to my family. It's what they did to this person. You know what I mean? And I carry it. Like, I carry resentment. I carry that shit. Are you happy now? We talking about real shit. I mean, genuinely, though, I'm not trying to, like, this is just who I am. I'm not putting a front on and trying to, like, make you laugh. Like, this is just, I carry it. Like, I carry it. You see the headlines. You see anybody that can fucking see the headline of CPD shot and killed, 16 shots, 90 shots, and you don't have a resentment building towards them, that's a red flag for me.
What about, like, with everything going on now, right? With younger generations having such easy access to guns that they're not trained to use, right?
Kids.
Some kid just killed a police officer with a switch.
That shit was like last night, right?
Yo, killed his homie too.
The kids are lost. Like, the kids are lost. And that's not making any excuse. That's not making, like, obviously that's wrong. Like, even if he wasn't a cop, like, a kid, how old was the kid?
I have no clue.
Even if he was a teenager, like, that's a child. Like, a kid being lost and a kid, you are easily influenced as a kid. You know what I mean? You are easily influenced and you adapt to the world around you. And I think that goes deeper as a city, and that goes deeper as communities, and that goes deeper as a bigger picture than this kid got his hands on a gun. The same way that people say, like, oh, you know, the South and West Side on the city, like, you have no idea the world that's going on. It goes so deep, dude. Like, the problems in Chicago go so deep. And I mean, I feel for the... That's tragic.
So a very important person that we talked about early on in the conversation was your grandma, right?
Oh, bitch. Trying to make me cry now. Go ahead.
And in Swimming in Circles, you say, all my granny wanted from me was just to play bingo. I ain't even make time for somebody who spent their whole life trying to make mine better. Why did you fail to make that time?
Because you get wrapped up in your own life. You get wrapped up in shit. And you lose focus on the shit that matters. You make me cry. I'm throwing all this gear all over this bitch. Cameras flying. No, but you really, it's easy to be wrapped up in what you're doing, thinking that it's important, thinking that it's the biggest thing, and thinking that this song is the most important thing right now. Like, no, like, she used to just call me, bro, and I would like ignore it.
That voicemail almost made me shed a tear.
I saved all of her voicemails, dude. That's my girl.
You realize it once it's too late. You realize that that time really could have been made once that person's not around no more. That goes for everything, right? You know, when I started this shit, I started because I found out my grandma was sick. One of my other grandmas had passed away. And I think part of me was pushing so hard in this because I already knew what was going to come. So when it all came down to it, I don't feel like I understood what was going to happen. We already knew because she had cancer. So I was like, well, it is what it is, right? So I think for me, having this outlet was a little bit easier for me. But at the same time, right? You think back and you're like, damn, I could have gone downstairs to eat some breakfast more often than I did. I could have just sat there and talked and watched a couple movies. You know what I'm saying? And you don't realize it until it's gone.
Everything's easy to see in hindsight. But I was there with her most of her last days. And you try to make up for it, but you really can't. You try to tell yourself, like, this is making up, like, no. But we spent a lot of time together.
What is it you wish you would have done more of?
Just sitting with her. When I was living with her, I used to just like get up and rush out of the house. Just like sitting with her, like having a cup of coffee. Get up, run out the house, give her a hug. Be like, I'll be back later. You know, and she embraced every part of it. I couldn't have done wrong in her eyes. Like, I couldn't have done wrong in her eyes ever. She and I had a real special little bond, but she taught me unconditional love. She taught me what to look for when someone actually cares by watching her take care of me. Just, yeah, you can't make time for someone that gave their whole life. I remember, like, dude, everything, bro. Like, she literally raised me with my mother. Not like my father wasn't absent, but it was like, these are the two women that raised me. And feeling her hugs and feeling that's it.
At the end of the song, you say the worst thing about it right now is that it's the best part.
Because even the worst is like, she's still alive. Like, this moment is the best part. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This current moment. Her ass like had dementia.
Mm.
So I'm watching her brain rot. And I'm there. You know what I mean? She's forgetting who I am, forgetting to put clothes on, like shit that was like fucked. And it's like, this is the best part. This is the best, worst part. That, you know what I mean? It's only getting worse. Like, every visit I went down there, I'd go up to her and I'd be like, who are you? You know what I mean? And she'd like look at me and she'd be like, Zachary. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, like, she's gonna forget.
Mm.
And she did. But just being with her, like, I spent. You a bitch. I spent a lot of time.
I didn't mean
with her.
to. I didn't
You're
mean
good.
to.
You're good. God damn it. I spent her last moments with her, dude.
The worst thing about it right now is that it's the best part.
Yeah.
You want to take 3?
No. Fuck it. Like, in those last moments, I remember Papa. My family, like, a lot of my family wasn't there. Build a resentment. Where the fuck are y'all at?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Fuck it. I can't let my resentment and my anger towards them outweigh, you know, damn, bitch. Like, I can't let the anger and the resentment outweigh the last minutes, the last breaths that she took. Like, fuck it. It's real life. It don't matter no more.
Mm-hmm.
I could give a fuck who likes what I'm doing. You know, I could give a fuck. And that nothing to lose shit was that same attitude after she died of like, fuck it, I got nothing to lose. She's gone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what could go wrong now? And then you have a wake-up call. You know, you start a fight with a dude, he got a gun at your fucking head, and you're like, actually, I have a lot to lose, sir. You know? My grandma would be pissed as fuck. She's up in heaven doing the dance in a robe and shit. I show up. She'll be like, bitch, why the fuck are you up here? I'll be like, they're about to take me downstairs. I don't know why I'm in cuffs, but nice to see you. Really, though.
Yeah, gun pointed at you.
Bro, yeah.
Hey, bro, we can't skip over that.
We can. You live a life. You live. Yeah.
Next time on Sad Boy Radio.
We're not talking about that shit. Don't matter. My attitude.
Man.
Pressing your luck.
Press your luck.
Out now, bitch. That's the whole